Hey there, thanks for joining me for this grammar topic where today we're going to look at the past perfect. In this video, I'm going to talk about two things. One, what is the past perfect? Why do we need it? And two, how to make the past perfect using the formula with lots of examples throughout. So let's begin. What is the past perfect? Well, we use this tense aspect to describe one out of two events or more that began in the past and finished in the past. If we talk about two events that happened in the past, then we use this aspect to make very clear which event happened first. For example, I had washed the dishes when Carol came into the kitchen. We know from this example that washing the dishes came first. It was after the dishes were washed that Carol came into the kitchen. Her coming into the kitchen was the second event. Let's now look at the same sentence in the simple past to compare. I washed the dishes when Carol came into the kitchen. Now, which event happened first? Was it washing the dishes or Carol coming into the kitchen? If you said Carol came in first, then you are correct. By using the simple past for both events, we can assume that Carol came in first and then I washed the dishes. But when we say I had washed the dishes when Carol came into the kitchen, we know instantly that washing the dishes came first. I did this before Carol came in. So we use the past perfect when two or more events began and finished in the past. The past perfect tells us which event came first. Let's compare another two examples. Scott polished his car when his dad came home. Which event came first? Did Scott polish his car first or did his dad come home first? Both events here are in the simple past. And because they are, we can assume that Scott polished his car after his dad came home. His dad came home first. This was the first event. Now, let's look at the same example using the past perfect. Scott had polished his car when his dad came home. We know instantly through the use of the past perfect that the first event was polishing the car. Scott did this first and then his dad came home. So let's now look at the formula. We start with the subject plus had plus the past participle. Subject, had, past participle. To help make this clear, let's compare all the past tense aspects, starting with the simple past. Sarah made coffee before the meeting started. Continuous past. Sarah was making coffee when the meeting started. The perfect past. Sarah had made coffee and went to the meeting. Perfect continuous past. Sarah had been making coffee before the meeting started. Why do we use each past tense? To answer this question, let's look at each sentence again on a timeline, starting with the simple past. Sarah made coffee before the meeting started. The act of making coffee is finished. It's completed. It's over. Done. The continuous past. Sarah was making coffee when the meeting started. The emphasis here is on time, but it also shows that the meeting, in this case, interrupted her coffee making. In other words, she had to stop making coffee to go to the meeting. The perfect past. Sarah had made coffee and went to the meeting. This tells us that making coffee came first and the meeting came second. The first event was making coffee. The second event was going to the meeting. The perfect past tells us the order of events as they happened in the past. And particularly if there is more than two events, this is really why we use it. Perfect continuous past. Sarah had been making coffee before the meeting started. This emphasizes the process and that the process itself took some time. Let's look at some more examples of the past perfect. Jamie hadn't seen such beautiful mountains before he went to Switzerland. Belinda had lived in her house for more than 20 years when she was asked to move. I couldn't pay for the groceries because I had left my wallet in the car. Lucy had skied only a couple of times before she fell off her skis. We use the past perfect for the earlier event in the past, and we use the simple past for all other events, all that had happened in the past. Let's look at these sentences one more time. Jamie hadn't seen such beautiful mountains before he went to Switzerland. The first event in this sentence is Jamie never saw such beautiful mountains. And the second event was his trip to Switzerland. Belinda had lived in her house for more than 20 years when she was asked to move. And the first event was Belinda living in her house for 20 years or more. The second event was she had to move. I couldn't pay for the groceries because I had left my wallet in the car. The first event here was leaving my wallet in the car. The second event was not being able to pay for the groceries. Lucy had skied only a couple of times before she fell off her skis. The first event was Lucy only having skied twice. The second event was falling off her skis. And there you have it. Stay tuned for more on this tense aspect. See you in the next grammar video shortly. Don't miss out. If you haven't already, click subscribe. I'm Larissa. Bye for now.